Hello, beautiful being. This is for you when you are in a negative limiting program and you're feeling negative. You've entered that glorious fight or flight mode and you've started to analyze your life from within a negative emotion. You started to think all of the thoughts about how does everything go wrong? Why are you such a failure? Why do you never know what to do? I feel so alone. I feel so lost. I feel like a letdown. I feel like nothing ever goes right for me. I feel all of these negative things. And let me tell you one thing while you're in that space, rest assured, my beautiful being, that is a you are feeling all of these things because you're inside the fight or flight response. You're inside that negatively limited response, which means you have slipped into a state where you cannot see past your the walls around you. You can't think beyond your environment and you're being limited. You're being limited by your perceptions. You're being limited by your ability to see the good things that have happened and that can happen. You're being limited by your imagination. You can't tap into your imagination right now. You can't tap into your hope, your faith. You're in a place, you're on the radio station that's telling you all of this stuff, but the stuff that it's telling you is not factual. You are just in a response and it's okay. Do you ever have those days where you feel how you're feeling right now? And then the next day you remember all the amazing stuff in your life. And you're like, oh my God, I forgot all of this amazing stuff yesterday. Now I remember my purpose. Now I remember all of my plans, my goals. Now I remember how unstoppable I am. Now I remember how much of an amazing being I am, all of the potential that lives inside of me. That day will be coming very soon for you. But right now, the best thing you can do is, and I might be biased because I've been on this journey and I've been where you are so many times and that I've clawed my way out so many times as well. And one thing that always helps me is to just meditate. Just meditate. You know, all the times you hear about meditation, you hear about all of the amazing experiences that people have in meditation, and you think, God, I wish I had more time to do that. Now is the time. This is probably why your higher self has organized this experience in the first place for you to meditate through it. This is the best time for you to meditate. Let me tell you why. Because even if when you go into your meditation, you don't have some massively mystical experience and you don't meet an alien or you don't slip into another dimension or you don't like get abducted in a spacecraft, even if you just have a very normal meditation where you quiet your mind, even if you have the kind of meditation where you literally just observe the mind, you're present with the mind, you watch the mind, you get to know the mind, you're the mind's friend. You're like the listening shoulder for the mind to pour its heart out onto. Even if you have one of those meditations where you literally just sit there watching thought, that is a helpful meditation. That is a successful meditation. Because even the meditations where we simply observe, is that the right word? Even the meditations where we simply observe thought, we are becoming the observer of thought. You are practicing being the observer of thought. Even a meditation where you can't even get to being the observer of thought, where you are believing the thought and you just let your mind run wild for the whole meditation, that is even a good meditation. And let me tell you why. Because sometimes thoughts need to process, they need to diffuse, they need to kind of run their like a tape. They need to just run through their thing until they kind of fizzle out. Let me tell you a quick story. When I went to Vipassana for the first time, the first 3 days, because I was working so much and I just went straight in, for the first 3 days, I felt like I was watching a gangster movie on fast forward in my mind. My thoughts were like for 3 days. And then after 3 days, I'm not saying you're going to be 3 days, maybe 30 minutes, and then you'll get to a bit of bliss. But after a while, my thoughts lost their momentum. And then when the thought came in, I'd just be like, you're not even getting my attention anymore. You're just boring now. And then it was like my mind was empty. They'd ran out. They played and they'd lost their momentum. They'd fizzled out. And suddenly my mind was clear. My thoughts had thought themselves out. And I had kind of diffused all of this mental activity. Even if you have a meditation where you literally just let your thoughts just explode like fireworks, do that, be present with yourself. Stop analyzing your life in a negative emotion, for God's sake. You're not a failure. You're not a loser. You're a powerful creator of reality being dragged into a limiting program. Don't analyze anything, because all you're doing is, I want you to imagine, right, that you're right now the color, say you're the color gray, say you're the color of my jumper, okay? If you think about all of these categories of your life, it's like getting the paint that of the color you're feeling right now and splatting it all over your life. You don't want to do that. Analyze your life when you're in a positive emotion, so that you go and throw glitter over everything. Don't analyze from a negative emotion, because you will only spread negativity throughout all of the categories of your you will only be spreading negativity throughout all of the categories of your life. Just go be with yourself, be your best friend, be the best friend that you need. Go into meditation, overcome yourself, and you might even cross a river, which means tomorrow might end up being the best day of your life, because you ended up overcoming limited parts of you that usually hold you back, but you use this time to overcome them, and therefore you let them go, which means tomorrow you might step into a whole different reality with a whole different personality and a whole evolved sense of self. So go and use this time wisely. While you're being limited by a program, go and overcome that program, set yourself free from it. And you might just accidentally quantum leap into that reality you've been asking for. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. Lots and lots and lots of love.